firstly, can you give us an honest appraisal of Salford Red Devils in 2018?
Yeah, I think it's been a tough year, mate, to be fair, with the amount of stuff that we've had to face being off-field more than anything, with the change of ownership, with selling players. That's been probably the one big thing that's really disrupted us as a group this year. And then obviously there not being funds at early doors to be able to replace players that had left, and especially the guys we'd sold. So we were seeing players go out the door and nobody really coming in, and then some injuries started to happen and we weren't really being able to get proper training sessions in. We were trying to just wrap people up in cotton wool and get them through. So we've had it tough, and the boys have had to do it kind of tough this year, but back end of the year we've managed to get people back fit, people are coming back into training, we've got new numbers in thanks through the club and through sponsorship and through money coming in. So we're looking really good now, but it's been a really tough year. But even at the beginning of the season, Andrew Rosler, when he came in, he said it was about getting through this season and making sure that we had somewhere to go and build on for next year.
So in terms of when you stepped into this season, there must have been a plan, a vision for the year. Was it a case of sort of throwing that in the bin after?
Yeah, we wanted to build on what we'd done last year, and we still spoke that way. We wanted the group to really feel that and really see how far we could get by pushing the kind of small group that we had, really, by saying, look, we want to improve and we want to get better, and that's always what you want to do, and you want to improve as a group. But obviously certain factors didn't allow us to do that, obviously with the loss of players, mate, and with the loss of kind of funds, really, to be able to do things. And sometimes it's small things that make a big difference to your squad in how you look after people and how you value them as a group, and that goes a long way. And sometimes, unfortunately, we weren't able to treat the boys as well as what we had done in the kind of the past. So everyone, but the good thing was we was all on the same page. We all knew what we needed to get out of this season, and we all knew what we had at our disposal to do that.
With that in mind then, if you get through the next 6 rounds of the qualifiers unscathed, you're in the Betfred Super League next year. That in itself, would you see that as a successful season given what's happened? From
everything that's happened from the start of the season, yeah, it'd be a success. Obviously it's not what we wanted to be at the beginning of the season. If you look back to last year when we wanted to kind of build a squad around people like Benny Murdoch, Gaz O'Brien, Manu Vatavai, and was looking really confidently kind of coming into that point and being able to build on it to be a top 4 team. And then obviously the losing Marwan was a big one, mate. Losing Marwan, losing Benny Murdoch, and then Manu going in pre-season with his injury, and then losing Gaz O'Brien as well, having to sell him. It kind of really affected the full group. But like I say, we know we've got a good core of players here, and we knew we'd be able to turn that around. We just needed a little bit of kind of help, really, as a team and as a club.
You've been in this situation before, obviously. You know the qualifiers. How much are you able to look into 2019? Because clubs in the Super League, in that Super 8, are already recruiting, already building for next season. How much are you able to do that?
That's the difficult thing. I mean, even as a club now, where there's a lot of people who are finding their feet and learning things about the club at the top end of the club, and thinking about your budgets and all that going forward as well, and they're being discussed all the time. It's continually kind of evolving all the time, and then you'll win and everything looks kind of positive, and then you'll kind of get a loss and it's like, well, put the brakes on a little bit as well. So look, the big thing for us is we've identified people who we want to bring in for next year as well. If we can move quick enough to get them in, then ideally we'd like to do that, and then we'd be able to build the team the right way. But the big one for us is making sure that we secure our future this year into Super League, and then we can build positively going forward.
You lost some big name players, as you said, but you must be pretty pleased with like the development of Jake Bibby, Josh Wood, Lannan. They've all stepped up when they've needed to.
Yeah, I think that's the kind of the great thing as well about the situations that we kind of found ourselves in. It's been Daniel Murray, for example, as well, and like you say, Jake Bibby and Darrell Alferts. Darrell's come in like Chris Browning last year. He's come from League One, and potentially we didn't expect him to play this many games this year. It was a learning year for Darrell and to build for the following year, and he's ended up playing a massive amount of games now, really, as his first year in, and he's looking really good in Super League. So it will have fast-tracked him and developed him. It will have done the same with Josh Wood, again's kicked on from last year, Ryan Lannan, Jake Bibby, Daniel Murray, even Niall, the amount of kind of games Niall's played this year and the things he's learned. And I know he's had a bit of an injury, Niall, but just being consistently that #1 fullback, he's got better and better as he's played as well, and that's without the competition of Gaz O'Brien. Whereas if Gaz O'Brien had been here, we'd have had a genuine competition for who would have been kind of starting, really.
You bought, obviously, some new lads in towards the back end of the season. 2 lads are coming from Widnes, and then Joey and Jackson from Australia. How much of an added impetus does that?
It was massive. It was important that we brought kind of new players in as well, because we needed numbers, but we needed quality of numbers as well. And we obviously had to do kind of some manoeuvring with our own playing group to get 2 players in from Widnes, which was Ed and Greg, and I think they've been outstanding additions for us, mate. And yeah, we had to lose a great guy in kind of Weller on the back in that, but it was something we needed to do as a club and as a team at that point. Then bringing the additions of Jackson, Joey, Jansen in as well, it's just given the place a big lift, and players are now seeing that the club's got a bit of ambition, and they want to make sure that they secure Super League, and they want to kick on again next year. And that's the most important thing, because you were just seeing players go out the door and nothing really coming in. And then when you're a player and you're a supporter, you're getting frustrated and you're thinking, well, why we're not bringing people in? We want to bring, and it all comes down to kind of finances at the end of the day. Yeah. And people have been working hard behind the scenes to kind of bring them finances in.
On that note, particularly Joey, that signing was kind of facilitated by crowdfunder. That must be, for a club to know it's got the backing of its supporters, particularly now, as you say, Marlon's gone.
Yep.
The supporters have got, you know, a stake in the club, so to speak. That must be huge, knowing that you've got that support, particularly as an ex-Salford lad yourself.
Yeah, we knew that the supporters that we have are great supporters, mate. They're here all the time. They go to the away games, and they're brilliant, and they're probably more important than any other supporters in any other club at the moment, because they dictate what we do. They'll dictate what we can spend because of the amount of people coming through the gates, and they have a massive impact. And sometimes supporters don't kind of see that. Our supporters have seen it, and then obviously by allowing us to bring Joey in an addition, who's a great addition for us, the players will see that we've spent the money wisely on the back end of that, and they're buying into the cause. So all the players know that the supporters are in this with them as well, the situation that we're in, which is about the club and having a successful kind of Salford team, really, and having a Salford team. So when we know the supporters are kind of buying in as well, the players see that, they get confidence from that, and then obviously with the additions coming in, that's just really kind of kick-started our season, really.
From a coaching perspective, half-backing yourself and your players, Dave.
Yep.
You've got Glees, who was Great Britain centre, and then Willie Potchin, obviously a forward. How does that dynamic work between the 3 of you?
Oh, really good. We all have different kind of ideas, and we all like talk a lot around obviously the table. We spend hours together discussing things and discussing game plans and situations, but it's good because we're all from different sections of kind of the game, outside backs, half back in the spine, your forwards with Willa, so we can give the view of all them kind of players as well. And like I say, the big one you get is from the players themselves, by discussing and talking kind of tactics with them if you want, and technical stuff with them, and you pick things up off them, and then we can divulge that and then come out with the best outcomes as a team. But yeah, it works really well for us as the group we've got, and it's one that we've, like I say, we've built on of just getting to know each other over the last couple of years.
The players as well. Flash has played grand final, Coppy's won the Leaders' Shield, Tyke's been in Challenge Cup finals. I'm sure there's more.
Yeah, Luke Burgess.
Yeah. Absolutely. That experience must be really valuable, particularly in this kind of situation. Yeah,
well, this is where like the games at the bottom, you want to be playing at the top end. You want to be playing Challenge Cup finals. You want to be playing grand finals. You want to be playing in them kind of games. In these, when it comes down to the other end, it's a different kind of pressure, and it's how people handle it. But what we've got to do is make sure that our guys who have played in big games, prepare and play like they're playing in them big games, so that they just put their best performance out there. It's not like overcomplicating it and feeling like there's a load of pressure on you and it's pushing you down. You want that pressure to lift you up, really, and see it as a challenge. And that's kind of what we've spoke about our boys about. Luke Burgess has spoke to our group. Luke's been really good. I know we've lost Luke through injury this year, but Luke spoke really well to the group at times about handling pressure and making sure our preparation's right as well. So he's been a big plus for us on and off the field, along with like Lee Mossop, Mark Flanagan, Tyrone McCarthy. They've all bought in. Rob Louis, Junior Sow as well. They've all experienced different things and at different sides of the game as well. So it's all experience that we need to kind of call upon.
Having been in that £1 million game, I won't go into the story of it, but we all know what happened on that day. How much does that drive you to not get to that situation again?
Yeah, we don't want to be involved in that, mate, to be fair. It's one of them games that's a spectacle, and you want to play in spectacles, but you don't want to be involved in that game, because there's a real seriousness to the outcome, and I suppose everyone knows that when they're going into the season, that they could be involved in there if they don't kind of put the best foot forward. We were kind of, when we were sat in 8th position as a coaching staff, we were kind of crying out, and Ian Blease was working hard on stuff to try and get funds in then and to be able to get players in, because we felt we were still short at that time as well, which it's kind of proven. But like I say, it's all restarted again for us now. It's kind of clean slate. It's kind of a new mini season really for us, and there's confidence around the place now because we've got numbers and we've got quality players in and quality personnel in the positions that we needed them, mate, to be fair.
Do you think having done it before though, and having done it the tough way before, strips away, because a lot of that group is still here,
yeah,
strips away a bit of naivety, a bit of...
Yeah, definitely. We've spoke already about kind of going into the games, and we've started off one of the 8 series really well against Huddersfield, got a big win against them, and then we faltered. We fell to Lee, and then London at home here as well. So we're more aware of what them championship sides can do now. So we need to make sure that we're ready for that, and I'm sure we will be.